Dear all, I am back after a long gap with my series of Story of Impressive Person. Today I am going to do my series number 22. This is with very good friend of mine, well-wisher, my supporter, respected Dr. Vikas Almadi. And this show is actually about the story of impressive persons, in fact, story of legends, mentors, motivators, guides, and gurus and teachers. Basically, everyone in this world has aim, dream, objective, some goals for her or him, but some extraordinary efforts with persistent and consistent efforts, determination, hard work, make them achieve that objective, whatever they have decided. Also, the legends are the persons with some characteristics. They love to give back to the society. They want to do something for the upliftment of the society and they love to impart the knowledge, whatever they have. Legends always believe in grace, not in race at all. They love to be down to earth because they understand very well that your attitude makes your altitude. Today, I am with a person who started his journey as an entrepreneur with 10,000 rupees and finally he has crossed the turnover of 400 crore plus. He's a source of inspiration, he's a mentor, he's a role model for many, none other than Dr. Vikas Almadi. Welcome, sir. Welcome to my show, Story of Impressive Persons.
Thank you very much, Rajesh ji, first of all, for this invitation and for your nice, humble, and very exciting words. Actually, I don't deserve that much of praise. Actually, I am a very simple, first of all, friend of yours, and also trying to be a human being, actually, always at every moment. So, thanks for this invitation and greetings to all the audience,
With your permission, I would like to start.
for sure.
Okay. As I always do, I would like to start with very first question related to your schoolings, education, and entry into the field. Please throw some light on that.
Yeah, so by education, I basically, studied my schooling in Himachal Pradesh, actually, and various places because my father has been working there in the government organization, and his job was transferable. So, we shifted to many places every 3 to 4 years, actually. That is the routine transfer that takes place for the government employees there, and that given me chance to interact and make friends with so many guys in Himachal in various places. So my schooling took place in Himachal in various places actually,
Okay.
and later on basically I got the degree from Maharashtra. Of course, it was electronics and telecommunication degree, but later on, we all came into the electrical and mechanicals and civil engineering kind of thing, basically. And little bit of electronics also is being done. And now I am, you know, pursuing more of the power electronic side. This is again, which is little away from the the studies that we did, but at the same time, most of the experience comes from the education that is given by the friends, by the customers, by the places you visit, and also the field applications. So I would say I would add these things into my qualification, which is really giving me kind of masters into this, because unless you know your own field nicely, unless you touch uh, your own product in the field, unless your shoes are dusty, you cannot learn the thing. So that is the real masters over the masters is in the field. So thank you to all the customers, all the colleagues like you, all the people and the friends whom I worked with. They were also like schooling and university for me.
Sir, you have
Yeah.
worked with various
So
companies, and can you tell me something about your journey experience as an employee, not as a employer, as an employee for the different companies you have already worked with?
So, I don't differentiate between employee and employer actually. So everybody has to think like a owner. Actually, then only he can perform well, even like employee. So definition is of the employee who get the salary, but he also gives something basically. He also gives his knowledge. He also gives his contribution in growth of the company. So it's a, of course, differentiation from giver taker kind of view. But everybody is giving something. It's all about giving actually. So. I would always say that, this differentiation actually is for certain reason, not for the overall reason actually. So I started my journey with a company called Benning. Actually, this company is a German company, and I worked in this company in 1996 actually, and 1997. So this company was launching SMPS systems in the country. Sorry, and uh, we were given the task to change the thyristor power systems to the telecom power systems. Actually, thyristor power system were consuming one big room to power up a telecom exchange. And then there was another room basically for the batteries. There was some float charge, boost charge, these kind of things were there at the time. So this all to be converted to a SMPS system, which was better than thyristor actually in many respects. And we worked with government agencies, we worked with various telecom companies, we went to the field, we saw that what kind of problems actually the customers are facing. And then we were able to introduce this concept of SMPS telecom power systems in the country. Of course, then I was inspired by one of my mentor also, and at the time he was the R&D head, Mr. Manoj Upadhyay, who owns Acme Telepower System right now, and he is very successful businessman. And my first boss is, I will like to name them Mr. Jitana. Actually, he is Wing Commander Jitana, who told me how to dress up. Even just I was just a child, actually, just a kid. So I started journey with such good mentors who were very progressive. Their clarity was there in everything they do, actually, and they were kind of taking everybody along in a mission basically to accomplish. So that way my journey started luckily with very good fellows, with a very good company. I got to know about the German culture also a little bit, got to know about the problems in the power systems also a little bit, actually what they face. And that was my next phase of journey, where I went totally into the protection systems related to the lightning, related to surges. And I again started my company with some colleagues there, and I was handling the surge protection business and lighting protection business in that. So immediately after 1.5 2 years of working in a company like employee, as you said, basically, so I started my own with partners, and later on, basically in 2003, I started my purely my own company. This is Vrinda Nanotechnologies, actually.
Now, I would like
So
to know the reasons and why did and when did you decide to start your own company? What were the reasons behind that?
See, initially, to be very frank, I never thought that I'll be coming into a business or things like that. But slowly, when I was working in the field, it was after, graduation, you come to know about the field and you come to know about the problems they're facing. And every company has its own mission, one direction, basically. What touches you most, maybe that mission, or maybe, something different in that, actually. So in our case, in my case, it was like, there is a lot of problems that, that are there at the site, various sites. Telecom was expanding, and these problems were not there only in telecom, but one can imagine that these were there in the normal course of life too, when we use the electricity. And you remember that a lot of areas were there because of voltage fluctuations, things like that, and people were still using the servo stabilizers and isolation transformers and things like that. But for critical, very sensitive kind of loads, those kind of items may not be the perfect fit, actually. So we had to come up with something new which would solve these kind of issues. So my mind totally went into that direction, that I have to solve this issue actually now, and that could be possible by doing something of my own. So I took permission from my father, and I am first generation into the businessman. So I whatever I used to earn, I was just spending like anything. I was single. So later on, I started with the contribution of 10,000 rupees, and then journey continued. In that is important that basically, of course, I was supported very well by Den, many colleagues there. At the time, Thomas Den himself was looking after the company, and then Dr. Den came into a higher role of management. And I had very good teachers there. I would like to name them, like Mr. Vaikorev, Jen Seller, and my very good mentor, Helmut Bush. So and surrounded by many good colleagues like Franz Wolfram. So these guys were more into the knowledge, and you get the knowledge about the market, you get the knowledge about the product, and see that how you can create something new, how you can solve the issue. First of all, you should know the problem, then only you will solve the problem. So this
Great.
kind of very good approach was there, and we created our team also with the same attitude that okay, go to solve the problem, don't sell anything. Actually, go to solve the problem first, understand the problem.
Started in
So that
2003.
was, pardon?
You started your company in 2003.
2003. And then basically during this brisk movement, then India was also started, so I was given with honor this role to head then India also. Actually at the time, Vrinda Nanotechnology, which started in 2003 and got in many customers actually by the time, was also running. So I was fortunate enough basically to handle such a great company within India as a CEO in India, and also created many new fields for the lighting here. But at the same time, I was running this company parallelly as it was already going on, and it was agreed between the two.
Now I
How we started? It started with the idea, and of course,
sir, are you getting me?
sorry, Rajeshi.
Are you getting me, sir?
Yeah,
No, no, it's okay
some
from my side.
interruption was there. Some interruption was there actually.
No, no, now it's okay. I would like to move to my next question. Are you getting me, sir?
Yes, yes, please go on.
Okay. I would like to know about your liking for the telecom sector and why did you give the name of your company VNT?
Yeah, so VNT means Vrinda Nanotechnology. Vrinda is the name of my elder daughter, actually. So
Great.
she was born in 2002, and then basically, as we Indians normally do, basically, we, we have to hire a name from the family and then, give. And I was always feeling and still feel that, I'm proud of my daughter, and this
Great.
is the name I've given to my company. Yeah. So that is how Vrinda Nanotechnology, which is known as VNT, that started, actually. Yeah.
Now I would like to know about your connection and association with Den.
So as I mentioned, basically, so we are together for many years now, since 1987 approximately. So 26 years, and I given prime years of my life, professional life, to Den actually, and Den has been great mentor to me, great platform for me actually, for getting connected in the international level, getting to know about this subject of lightning, and also apply this problem solving skills very well into the market. Lightning was something which was known, but not technically that much known actually when we started. So it was kind of scattered here and there. There were some standards also which was not very, I would say, relevant. But at the same time, when we started with this concept initially. Concept was to, of course, tell about lightning and then create a network basically who talks about lightning protection, and also the surge protection for various applications. Can be simple application like house, or can be very complex application like oil and gas industry, basically where you have chances of explosion and things like that. So we had to create a good team who is knowledgeable team and who is able to give a signal very clearly to the market, and also basically create awareness in a very practical way. So we became the number one company also in the country, and it's still leading, and I'm very proud to see that the company is galloping year on year towards the growth. And of course this is a total application based sales that we do. So association with Den is not only just working there. It is about knowledge also that I got from Den actually. This is something which cannot go out of me, and this is uh, I would say embedded very much into me. So now, of course, I'm no longer the CEO of the company because I decided to run VNT only. After such a great association, because company can take the heights by its own, and it is also very I would say proud and prestigious thing for us that my own colleagues in the company, who are juniors in the company, they are now leading the company very effectively,
Great.
in the same way as we used to do. So this is a great success to them. Yeah.
Now time to talk about or know about your role of your company for the introduction of lightning protection in India, because that is a subject I would like to talk about.
For sure. So, when we started, when we used to go to the customer, and even now, basically, you will find many customers or many, I would say, people who say that lightning we have not heard in our plant. They know about lightning as a flash. Basically, when they travel, they fear about lightning when they are in the airplane. But when it goes to their plant or the downtime, they do not believe that lightning can really cause the interruptions, cause the revenue losses, etc. So this is something even now. Basically, you will find many people who say that lightning cannot damage it. But at the same time, we were working very closely. We were creating this awareness that look in what way lightning damage doesn't mean is always the explosion. Basically, it can cause a slow poison kind of effect in the equipment, and it can cause failure of the equipment, not now but at a later stage, which can cause loss of the revenue, loss of the services for anyone actually. And the prestige of the companies is related to their services actually, whatever services plus the safety of their own people there. Whosoever visits their premises should be safe, actually, right? So, concept about lightning protection and then surge protection to protect the equipment. This took a little bit of while for the people to understand, and later on these standards also were published, which IEC standards were there, SE 62305 standards are there, which were adopted in 2015-16 in India actually. And later on NBC and CEA, every standards also started talking about the lightning protection to be done in a genuine way, not just like a typically Indian jugaad actually. So this has to be done in a proper way, and this that is where basically the requirement for the experts was realized by many customers. And it took little time, as I told you, quite good years to come to this platform where lightning protection came into a regular demand. So that demand is now increasing year on year because of the compliance things, because of the awareness things, and because of the responsibility also. So I would say responsibility is the most important factor, that feel responsible while basically you are having a factory or premises or so, because people are coming into that, you should protect their lives.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So lightning protection definitely is, I always say, is a responsibility, not a business. So one more thing that is there now is that I am no longer into the lightning protection business with any company per se. I am independent right now, basically. So the advice that I give now is purely advice, actually. It is not uh, backed by any product or something. It's quite
It's
neutral,
basically
quite,
knowledge
quite
sharing.
genuine.
And
Uh,
knowledge sharing,
Yeah.
basically.
So that is what I wanted to give, and so many calls come every day today for some or other kind of doubts actually. So which I love to address without any cost or so. I feel proud that people are still asking me that yes, what is to be done in this case or so.
Great.
So this is a responsibility, not a business actually. It's
Great.
a
Great.
responsibility. It's to be seen as more of responsibility than earning money out of this.
Now I would like to talk about renewable energy that contribute 30% of total installed capacity, and out of 30%, 60%, 17% is by solar PV in India. And VNT was the first company who introduced the first plug and play wireless string monitoring system in 2016 for solar PV. Kindly tell me something about that thing.
Yeah, when basically, you have utility scale power plants. So you have, so many strings or so many modules which feed into the inverter, and you have to monitor these strings individually so that in case of shadow or in case of damage in the panel, you should be able to identify which particular string is actually not performing, and you can do a kind of analysis for that. For that, you need data on the string basis. So data collection, the concept of data collection came very slightly in India in 2015-16, where basically the cables were used to communicate the data. And you can imagine that kilometers of space for a utility scale power plant, and you have cables which are lying with the DC cables, AC cables together, and to run the cards, you need UPS for that. So such big cables cause their own problems. You know it quite well basically. Longer are the cable, longer are the problems actually. And associated with the power system, basically you are having your communication system, digging of the trenches and all these things was a labor work. So we thought, why not we change this into a wireless system so that all these issues are over in one go. So we, developed our first plug and play system where UPS was also removed. Basically, we developed a power supply which could convert the sun power itself into very small voltage, which is used by the auxiliary cards. And secondly, we, uh, introduce a wireless system so that there is no need of the wiring. And then we are graduating in the wireless technology from one technology to other. So now the latest one is basically very reliable technology, which gives the redundant communication also, where it will not fail at all, actually. And we are serving it, in the biggest power plants of the world now, not only in India, but in other countries also.
Great, great, great.
So
And
that is a small thing about, about wireless
further,
systems.
further, I would like to know about India's first high-efficiency telecom rectifier saving megawatts of energy year on year that you developed. Kindly throw some light on that also.
Yeah, Rajesh, your voice is not very clear. It is
Yeah, yeah.
cracking.
Yeah, I want to know about India's
But
first
still,
high-efficiency
uh,
telecom rectifier.
okay, yes. So, idea was to always give something new to the market, actually. As I told you, I started my career with the telecom power supplies in early 97, 98, actually, and then shifted to the protection systems. During COVID time, basically, uh, sorry, again, there was something. But anyway, so why not bring back this telecom power supply, which was there basically at the start of my career. But at the same time, what was happening? The telecom power supplies which were used since 2020, 21, even now basically some portion, they were not that efficient as the technology in the meanwhile. So 94, 95% was the maximum which was offered. And we thought, why not we give better than that? Because the products are available in the market and designs can be done as per the Indian conditions. So we introduced 97% plus actually, efficiency, where this 2% gap, you can imagine actually, uh, megawatts and gigawatts of energy, kilowatt hours or gigawatt hours are consumed by telecom every year to make sure that our telecom services in data or voice is running 24 by 7. Yeah, so it needs energy actually. So even we increase the efficiency by 2-3%, it can help telecom companies to save crores of rupees per day actually. So, of course, there are 200,000 sites which are coming up every year in the country, actually. That is the growth that is going on right now. And there are some sites which are only for 2 kilowatt, and there are sites which are going up to, 400, 500 kilowatts also, like MNC sites or so. Some average are 20 kilowatts. So, calculating that, it can save, minimum 350 to 400 million dollars in a year, actually, by coming up with this kind of change in the rectifier. And that's a very good concept. We have got very good success in the market after initial trials, of course. And then with the high efficiency, your heating is also reduced basically. That reduces the failure rate also drastically. So failure rate of our system is less than 0.3%, whereas the nearest available rectifiers are 8% or more than 10%. So we try to do it for the betterment, and people have accepted it in a quite nice way.
Great, great. Now, time to switch to your personal life. What is your personal goal as an Indian? What is your goal? What
More, more and more, I would say, responsible engineers actually. Not for the entrepreneurship, not for the sake of basically saying that I am expert in this. Responsible engineers, they learn something, they give something, right? And they create their own tree later on. So this is something which I want to create in a very elaborate way, and that is how we try to give basically, very practical knowledge to the students of many colleges actually, so that they become acquainted with the industry, how industry takes the knowledge and applies the knowledge. That is number one. I am a believer actually, whatever we think it will happen. Only thing is you have to think only genuine, not very, very big things only. Basically, go with smaller steps. And this way, if you create on trees and don't expect kind of basically, thanks from them or something like that. Don't expect ever that. Because the moment you start doing that, then the purity goes actually. So that is the first thing that I see. Second is, of course, I am quite touched by the poverty actually, and poverty I think can be eradicated totally. Basically, this is totally eliminated, I would say, by education only. So I'm associated very closely with some NGOs who are actually in the education of the needy and underprivileged children actually.
Great.
That
Good.
is young age only, basically, where you have to really inculcate this habit of learning things. Middle age, definitely, if you are able, then you should by your own. Only thing is you need a platform. We should be able to give a platform. And third is old age. Old age, basically, I'm personally associated with, you know, uh, a, I would not like to name, but it is a kind of NGO who is taking care of the mentally retarded, or you can say the differently abled fellows. So aim is to be human, actually, and whatever resources you have in terms of knowledge or so, just try to give them in proper way, not just for the sake of showing, but at the same sake of, for the betterment of the people, basically, so that they can contribute further. Yeah.
I would like to know about your families, your hobbies, liking and dislikings.
Yeah, see, I am blessed with two daughters. As I told you, one is Brinda and the other is Vidhi, actually, and we live together with the parents here. As far as the hobbies are concerned, I think the top one hobby is the music, actually, playing music. I can play piano, I can play guitar, actually, which I've been doing since my childhood, actually, and won some of the awards also during my school time, actually. And
Great.
after that, I played just for my hobby sake. Yeah. So this is and piano is part of my study table, or study room, I would say, not study table, but study room. It is
Okay.
always there. And of course, uh, playing badminton with my daughter is again a hobby, basically for me. And we do this sport many times whenever we get good time, actually. And third is traveling. Traveling, as you know, basically I'm from Himachal Pradesh, so traveling to the places where I can go for trekking later on,
Great.
actually.
Great.
So I have gone to some of the tracks which nobody has seen, being the local there. But these are some of the hobbies which I carry. Some can be, definitely done in a regular way, and some on the time basis.
Now, time to end up my conversation. Before I end, last but not the least, what is your message for the youth to grow and grow in the life?
See, first thing is basically for growing in the life, or for doing anything which you feel as a successful thing, you have to invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, actually. Knowledge, the time that you give for knowledge, basically with the full concentration and honesty, will return in a very good format only. It will not ditch you, actually. So this is a clear message I give you. Don't avoid the time when this is dedicated for knowledge. Your schooling, your colleging, actually, it is very, very important, and there is a purpose behind it. Unless that is done properly, it is a risk for your future returns. So you are investing at the time. Returns will come throughout your life later on. So that is my small message to all.
Great, sir. And now I would like to say thank you very much for sparing your valuable times and joining me on the story of impressive person. And this series will definitely continue. More legends like Almadi Saab will be there on my show, who will be giving the message, who will be showing the path to youth, how to get success in their life. With that, I would like to say thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rajeshi, again for inviting me. And when we talk about, impressive persons and all, you are a mentor for us, actually. You have been doing such a great job by, you know, giving knowledge shots every day, actually, for all. And this is really very practical, very valuable, and very authentic, as I
Thank,
always say. So keep it up. This is a great thing that you are doing. I love that,
thank
simply.
you, sir. Thank
So
you.
thank you very much for inviting, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.